This is a very late patch video! I let auto clear figure it out on my second monitor, and if I don't clear it, then I die. We're not pulling. We must stay strong. Remembrance makes sense, and I can't believe I'm saying that. All right, hello friends and gamers. We are in Star Rail today, and if we lag at all, it's nothing to do with the beefy file size of this game, because for whatever reason, it has gotten much larger than I originally thought it was. But it is 200% because I'm downloading Blue Protocol Stall Resonance in the background. 200% why. Anyways, hello! This is a very late patch video! I'm also very tired, so we're really powering through this one, but I want to get caught up with my backlog of recording so that I can start getting into recording things from my gaming backlog. Does this make sense? Yes. I do have an... Why am I here? I'm like, wait a minute, why am I here? Did I finish my game in like a event realm or something? I do not remember. Because I don't think I was doing endgame. I don't remember what the last thing we did... Oh, it was the last thing we did in Star Rail was a video going up ages from now. The mixing event. So that actually makes a certain amount of sense that we'd end up here. All right, elephant in the room. It has been a very long time since we've touched on Star Rail. I have not logged in ages. I do have the Welcome Home Cheater event, I'm pretty sure. But I would like to take a look and do a very late kit review for Evernight. I won't be pulling for Evernight, so there's that. Apocalyptic Shadow Gale of... Wait, what? Jokes come true? Oh, I'll buy those, sure. Sure, why not? Can't get the self-modeling resin, but I don't even know what I bought. That's quality of life. This really is not like a proper patch video. It's just that I'm gonna go through everything and we're gonna look at Evernight's kit. I'm gonna see what event... Oh, that's what I bought. Oh, I need double what I have. Oh no. There's Sky Pillar. Oh, these are the new Sweet Dreams pajama set. I think this is all technically event stuff that you probably can't get. Is it? I don't remember. We have a lot to get caught up with in Star Rail though, so I don't, you know, like here, oh, you can now check character development tips and recommended lineups and character guide. Okay, so they put recommended lineups in the game now. What concerns me is that the reason why I've been off my Star Rail game is because last patch, fight on, not right now. Do not get me right now. Last patch, right? HoYoverse introduced on HoYoLab a AI chatbot that will tell you Star Rail team comps, and it made me pissed off. And I don't like it. So, fine on. I swear to God, keeps doing his little voice slides, trying to convince me to not be mad about the AI chatbot, but I am. Anyways, still upset about it. What concerns me is that these team compositions they're putting in here are just regurgitated out of that stupid AI chatbot and not actually, like a person didn't actually come up with them, so they're garbage. Dog water, like horrible team comp. I guess I do think, like the fine on comp here, Ceredra and Sunday makes sense. Woho as healer doesn't really, because like whenever I see a sustain unit with a fight on team, it is usually a Venturine or a Lolcha, which are the backup. So like I know Woho is a good healer, but like whenever I see a fight on team comp, Woho is not there. So I'm just like, are these dog water team like are these bad? These seem like they could. There's not even a backup on this Venturine one. You just have Face Shell, and then the Sunday team comp is like exactly the same as the Finon one. Finon really is a yapper, isn't he? You know what? He can be a yapper. He's been through a lot. I will say this Acheron team comp is seems pretty accurate, but like Acheron is kind of like everyone knows the Acheron team comp. I'm very interesting that Cypher and Jiaoqiu are here, because when Cypher released, everyone's like, oh, Cypher's gonna replace Jiaoqiu in the best team comp for Acheron. No, they're both just here. And to be fair, I have tried running the two of them with Acheron and it's worked. And then it's interesting because Silverwolf and Pela are listed here as backups, which the Silverwolf and Pela as backups, the same can be said for Jiaoqiu. You can probably slot in one of these two in place of either Cypher or Jiaoqiu, personally, from personal experience, because I've run both. Like, I've run all of the combinations you can come up with here. So I do find that interesting that they only listed it for one character. Just like any of these 4 characters, pick 2 of them and move on. Some characters do have two plans. Finon is really distracting me. Like, sir, you are distracting. I'm just curious. I'm gonna keep looking at all this. I do think it's also very interesting that like the backup category, right? It's all 5 stars because that's all we get in this game. Like we really need, we deserve better. We deserve more 4 stars. You can look at the unowned characters here now though, which is, I actually do kind of like that because if you want to like farm a character, but they're not like available for like pre-farming yet, I do think that's pretty, switch. Oh, yeah, we get free remembrance now. It's a free unlock now. All right, unlock, confirm. I'm just unlocking it early just so we have it because there's a lot of teams that run Remembrance Trailblazer. So I actually am just unlocking it early. We've all seen Remembrance Trailblazer. It's not really spoiling anything. You can view you can trial the current path here. I don't need to do that. Oh no, I do. There's a Stellar Jades involved. Okay, I do need to do that. Like I said, though, we won't be pulling for Evernight. We are going to do a kit review really quickly, but I just want to buzz through this first. I'm just doing the kit review for Evernight now, so I don't have to worry about doing it later on, because I will forget to do it later on when she gets a rerun. So we're going to do it now. Okay? Okay. But I never planned on pulling. That's also, I feel like, why. Like, I've been putting off my patch videos, but I feel like a lot of it was because I didn't plan on pulling for characters until either second half of the patch or like that following patch. Like, I'm not pulling for Eidolons on New Dunhung just for the sole purpose that I plan on pulling for Cyrene. So we must save our Primos. Primos? Stellar Jade. We must save our Stellar Jade. Time for a good old counterattack, Pela. But yeah, I think that's the recommended team comps. That's my one concern, I think, is that it is just regurgitated from that AI chatbot, and like no one actually put any effort into coming up with them, especially because some of the team comps do feel a bit weird. So I don't know, we'll see. It just like mainly as like a weird example, like slotting in Huohuo as the best in slot healer for the Finon team, when I don't think I've seen anyone run Huohuo with Finon as that being the sustained slot. Like, I don't think I've seen that at all. But if you ask like a chatbot or something like that, they'd be like, oh, Huohuo is the best or one of the best healers in the game, so obviously you'd put Huohuo here, even if no one's running Huohuo on this team, like, you know? And I have nothing against Huohuo, I love her, but it confuses me the slightest bit and concerns me because Star Rail doesn't have the best track record with that right now. So I would be weary to trust the recommended team lineups from the character guide right now. I would say until we get confirmation that like a person actually made them, or like they're actually like realistic team comps. But I don't think we'll ever get that confirmation, quite frankly. I don't think Hoyoverse is ever going to be like, yeah, we use the AI chatbot for. I don't think they're ever going to say that. The team plan for Remembrance Trailblazer, I will say. Team plan 2 confuses me a bit. Team plan 1, this is the general team I've been seeing. The Remembrance team. I know a lot of people want to slot in where Stell or Kalis or Trailblazer goes. A lot of people are wanting to slot in Cyrene later on. So this is generally the Remembrance team comp I've been seeing right now, though, with Evernight. So that doesn't surprise me at all. We'll work on building up Trailblazer later, but that is something new with this patch. So we did take a look at that. So we do that. But I got the oh, I do have to say, the Stell picture for Remembrance, she looks beautiful. I'm assuming Kalis is just as pretty. I have to keep the wanted poster, though. I must. Oh, I got an achievement. Let me grab that. We need Stellar Jade for Cyrene. I wonder if in the character guide, it would be great if you could like pre-farm the drip marketed characters once they're drip marketed. That's what I want. Forget the AI chatbot character guides. I want to be able to pre-farm as soon as the character is drip marketed. If there's a material that's not available yet, okay, I'll farm that later on. But let me farm everything I need that's available right now. Thank you, Hoyoverse, please, and thank you. All right, let's look at the travelogue real quick. Aha, I have my special passes. Reward guide? Oh. Okay, we're gonna come back to this after we go through everything here. So Gift of Odyssey has 25 days left at the time of recording. My box is covering it, but oh, well, actually, I'll move to the other side of the screen. Give me a second. All right, Gift of Odyssey, 25 days left at the time of recording. I don't know when this video is going up, but I am recording on October 9th, aka the day Blue Protocol comes out, which is why it's downloading in the background. Planar Fishers up for 10 more days. The standard. Colorful Mayhem. I have this one has 24 days left, and it's not going into the archive. So I am immediately going to put this on my schedule because I have been bad about remembering. Usually when I go to edit these videos, I'll sit and add everything to my schedule as I'm editing it, but I've been really bad about that recently, as I've been really bad about most things. So we are just going to do it now, actually. This is 24 days left, so I have to count that out. Oh my god, I have to count that out. All right, November 2nd to 3rd-ish. That's when we got to, that's probably actually also the end of the patch, I would assume, because that 24 days seems to be that. So 2nd, 3rd of November, which, oh my god, Miss Cyrene, her patch is going to be on my birthday. Thank you, Hoyoverse. Thank you for that. We will be doing, I say we will be doing Cyrene polls in my birthday video, my gacha game birthday video this year. For those of you who don't know, every single year I go on my birthday, because if you log into on your birthday to your gacha games, you get a special reward. So on my birthday, every single year, I sit down and I record the birthday extravaganza where I go through all my gacha games, get all my birthday rewards in the same video, and usually do end up doing some polls. I think last year's birthday video, I actually got Yanagi and Zenless on Zero, like within 20 polls or something, with 50-50 win. Like, the luck was there and we had fun with it. So I'm really hoping we can pull for Cyrene in this year's birthday video, because that would be really fun. All right, let me, Colorful Mayhem, November 2nd on the schedule. New Trailblaze mission. I am, like I said, I am working on getting caught up with my gacha game patch video backlog so that I can start getting caught up with my actual game backlog. So we can get caught up with Trailblaze mission. Nice weather for Dromuses. I've heard so many good things about this event, but this one is going into the archive, so I'm not prioritizing it. But this one also has 24 days left, and I've heard so many good things about it, and it's very cute. Aptitude Showcase. We also, I say we're not doing the Dramas event right now, but there's a very good chance I kind of start really quickly doing some events to get as many Stellar Jades as possible when Cyrene's banner is on the last leg, similarly to how I went insane pulling for Finon. So we do have 5 days left on the Aptitude Showcase. We will be doing Evernight at the end of this whole bit, but also the Herda is running right now, and hopefully, fingers crossed, will be available for a couple more days when I get this video out. Anyways, Anomaly Arbitration looks like this is related to Apocalyptic Shadow, pure fiction. Oh my god, wait, no, there's prereqs here. Okay, so in order to unlock this, I'm assuming this is an end game mode that I know nothing about. You need to clear Memory of Chaos Stage 12 with full stars in the historical records, clear Pure Fiction Stage 4 with full stars, and clear Apocalyptic Shadow Difficulty 4 with full stars. So this is like endgame for endgame players. I don't think, because everything I've heard about this, okay, this is that Gift of Stardust. So you don't actually get Stellar Jades from this endgame mode. You just get little things like this. You get Complainer, which honestly, truly, if I had to bust my ass going through this endgame mode, I would also be a Complainer. So I think that's actually kind of funny that they named this one Complainer. I do think, I see Fast and Furry Nuts, and I immediately think of Buddy Fairchild from hit gacha game Reverse 1999. Buddy Fairchild has burned a hole into my brain, and I can't make it go away. Anyways, I've heard a lot of mixed feelings on this endgame event. Not even event, because I guess it's technically an event. It has 25 days left, but I think that's just, like, it's a cycling event, so there's 25 days of this cycle. But I'm assuming this is permanent content now, because it has a whole shop. But, you know, they could be pulling a Honkai Impact. Who knows? Honkai Impact puts all the event shops really on the same page, so it could be a little bit of that. Unsure, but I've heard very mixed feelings on this event just because it doesn't give out Stellar Jade at all. But like there is other awards, but they're essentially almost entire. The Tears of Dreams are legitimate, like that's a reward that you can use in game, but everything else here is simply a cosmetic reward. So it's not really changing your gameplay at all. Like if you get Complainer, yeah, that gives you a little guy to walk around with you, but it's otherwise not, like, it doesn't really change your gameplay, like in actual combat, you know? It really is all cosmetic. So very mixed feelings I've seen for this event, and I feel like I won't be prioritizing this, but also I don't really prioritize endgame. How I play endgame in Star Rail is I just throw it on the second monitor and have at it. If I have to replay a stage a million times to get it to work, I'll do it. I don't plan teams. I don't listen to meta. I don't turn off auto clear. I let auto clear figure it out on my second monitor, and if I don't clear it, then I die. And that's how I play Star Rail Endgame. Anyways, I think everything else is technically just me being behind on things. Yeah, okay. So this reward guide really makes it kind of egregious how little we get from the events and things in this game. So we do have another event in phase 2, which I will be doing a full video for phase 2 because I will be geeking out over new Denhung. I am a Denhung stan. One of the first characters, was it the first character I went insane pulling for? Because there's one every year. Yeah, I think it was. Okay, also, New Denhung scared me because I thought he was going to be a second character I went insane pulling for this year. No. There's one every year. And the first character I went insane for, 2023, was Imbibitor Lune. And I expected that. Last year it was Sunday, this year Finon. So imagine how excited I am that I can put all of them on a team together with Aventurine, who is like a sleeper hit. Very excited. Wait, would it be with No, it wouldn't be Aventurine. I gotta figure that one out, because if I put Aventurine on it, then there's 2 sustain units. I don't need 2 sustain units. I'll figure that one out. Anyways, this isn't about him. This is about Evernight. But it really makes it kind of egregious how, like, few rewards we get compared to even other Hoyoverse games. We have, in terms of free pulls, we have maybe 2.5, 10 pulls from this event, the events in this version, which isn't horrible, but I feel like other gacha games do better, especially like if we're looking at Reverse 1999's anniversary. Technically, yes, it is an anniversary patch. So, and I am bringing up Reverse 1999 again because they've been pushing this one real hard for this patch, but it's an anniversary patch right now. It's the second global anniversary at the end of this month. And so the total amount of polls you can get from this version that is ongoing the same time as this version of Star Rail is over 30 just for logging in. You don't have to do any events. It's just for logging in. So that's like daily login, like Gift of Odyssey, as well as like just here's some polls because it's our anniversary. So like it's a little bit inflated, that number, but like that's just for logging in. In terms of the official count of polls we get in that game, this patch for events and things, it's probably at least 2 10 polls. So it's like basically Reverse kind of double, and I say that because Reverse gives out like 2 10 polls just for logging in every patch. 10 polls in the first half, 10 polls in the second half. So like the amount of polls we get in this version of Star Rail is like the bare minimum that you get in other gacha games. And this is from doing everything, the events, the login, everything. So I'm just like, hey guys, what? And not to be like XYZ is better than ABC, but like, I'm not the first person to say that the rewards we're getting in Star Rail are a little bit like skimpy, but like this kind of makes it like very obvious. It really does. So there's that. Anyways, let's go take a look at Evernight. After all that, we're gonna really quickly do the Herta trial because we need to get this done. And then we'll go through and do the Evernight one, but like more in depth. Can I stay over here? I usually go on the other side of the screen, but then I always end up covering the combat numbers. I don't think we need to see, do you guys need to see turn order? I don't think turn order matters. I auto clear anyways. We have the Herta, Tribi, Baby Herta, and Locha for this team. So let's hit it. I'm just gonna let this one auto clear. We've already technically done a kit review for the Herta, so if you're curious about that, you can go back on the Star Rail playlist and for the patch she originally released in, which I think is 3.0 actually. So this is, I don't even know what version this is. I'm gonna be so real. I think it's 3.6. Yeah, it's 3.6. Okay. I guess on this side, I would cover the character when they're prepping to do combat. I'm like, where's the best place for the box? I'm just gonna, wait a minute. I'm gonna turn off auto. Just because I need to like, I need a visual, I need to see visually. And yeah, okay, this is why I don't put the box on this side. Okay, but there's not a good place to put the goddamn box. So I have to go over here, but then I cover combat numbers, but I don't want to cover the buttons. This happens all the time with Star Rail. Locha, fine, fine. If you want to fight so bad, fight. Void Archives, man. I guess you can kind of see the total damage. Oh, I should probably make a Star Rail scene. You know what? I'm turning off auto clear again. I'm just so I can see it in OBS. Hold on, give me like two seconds. Herta's gonna start yelling at me soon. Yeah, she's yelling at me. Let the universe implode, Herta. I'm working on something. Okay, this should work. Let her rip. Let me see the combat numbers. Okay, this is good. This is good. Okay, this is a fine spot. Is it a fine spot? I think it's okay. Specifically made a scene in OBS for Star Rail combat. Specifically. Because it always bothers me how I'm covering up the combat numbers, especially because if I go to edit a short with combat numbers in it, I don't have the combat number. I fixed it. I think it's a little bit too low. I'm moving the box again. Now she's good. Now I feel comfortable with this. Okay, so Evernight, Ice 5-star Remembrance character. I know nothing about her except that she's March. Let's start that trial, yeah? Oh, we have to go through her whole everything, don't we? Okay, so Evernight, Remembrance, increases ally memo sprite damage. Okay, so she's support? Question mark? The more Remembrance characters present, the higher the damage. Summons Eevee, I think that's how you say that, to assist in combat and trigger a special self-destruct attack. When this unit or member sprite's HP is reduced, damage increases. So she's not your main DPS, but she's either a support or a sub DPS. I think she could probably flex depending on what you need on a team, because she does a little bit of both, it seems like. Well, that's Black Rain. I don't love how that looks. That's does she follow? Does her eyes follow? I feel like her eyes are following me. I know that the characters do that in like the character menu, but I feel like she feels like a creepy painting. Wow, terrifying. Oh, there's her other idol. No, she's just looking around. Okay, well, what weapon does she have? Oh, the umbrella. Oh my god, I love Ruby. Oh my god, Neapolitan, you'll always be famous. Wow. Okay. And then her skill. Oh, with the umbrella. That's actually sick as hell. Oh my god. So that's the front view. Okay. We're not pulling. We must stay strong. But our team we have is Evernight, Castorus, Remembrance Trailblazer, and Hyacinth. So the makeshift Remembrance team until Siren releases. Oh, I'm gonna get ambushed. You didn't have a ice weakness? What the hecky? Okay. Oh, we gotta do the memo sprite review too. Ooh, okay. All right, so how we're gonna do this, we're gonna go through everything in Evernight's kit, and then we will do Eevee, her memo sprite. So I guess Eevee is like it's like a shortened version. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. All right, Evernight's basic attack, totally not March, is called Time Thence Blurs. All right, deals minor ice damage to one designated enemy, single target attack with their element. Basic thing, happens all the time. All right, her skill then is called Day Gently Slips. Consumes this unit's HP to summon Memo Sprite Eevee and increase crit damage for all ally Memo Sprites. So obviously she is a buffer character for other Remembrance characters. If Eevee is already on the field, restores its HP, or using Day Gently Slips, that if your Eevee's on the field, you get an HP restore for Eevee. When using this, gain 2 Memoria. If in the Darkest Riddle state, you additionally gain 12 Memoria. Okay. Is Memoria your stacking mechanic? It looks like it. Okay. All right, Evernight. All right. So, ultimate skill then, called A Wakeful World Good Night. These do not sound like things March would ever say, quite frankly. Deals ice damage to all enemies, so this is a mass attack. Summons Eevee and causes Evernight to enter the Darkest Riddle state. That's what I was talking about up here. So you can use her skill in her ultimate form, essentially. But during which enemies take increased damage, and both Evernight and her Memo Sprite deal increased damage and are immune to crowd-controlled debuffs. See, that immune to crowd-controlled debuffs is going to go insane, and I really hope we get that on more characters going forward, because those crowd-controlled debuffs can ruin a run. I'm being so for real about that. Her talent is called With Me This Night. When entering combat, summons Memo Sprite Eevee, so her talent also summons Eevee. Okay. Each time this unit or Eevee loses HP, isn't their talent passive? Wait. Oh, okay, so Eevee gets summoned as soon as you enter combat. Okay. Each time this unit or Eevee loses HP, increase crit damage for this unit and Eevee and gains Memoria. When Evernight has 16 or more Memoria, Eevee immediately takes action. Okay, so basically it's like extra attack as well, because if every 16 Memoria, you boom, Eevee. Okay, so that's her passive talent. All right, that makes more sense. All right, so you really don't have to do anything crazy to summon Eevee. Like, I think with Casterus, you have to, like, summon her dragon, but Eevee just is on the field. More similar to Mem, but her technique is called Let It Rain Cold on Thee. I was curious what the name was because it was quite long. I was playing with it before we got in here. But yeah, Umbrella, wow. At the start of the next battle, obtains the same effect as the one from the skill, Day Gently Slips, that increases Memo Sprite crit damage and additionally gains Memoria. So essentially, Let It Rain Cold on Thee is basically just Day Gently Slips, but you get a free one a free skill as soon as you enter battle. Which, you know, it's not that creative, but at least like it's like, okay, yeah, that's useful. At least you're honest about it, you know? Like, is it that creative? No, but like I feel like we're running out of things to put in a remembrance kit. So, anyways, Memo Sprite. This is now going to be a short review because there's not a ton of text here for Eevee specifically. So, 2 Memo Sprite skills. The first one is called Remembrance Whirling Like Rain. This deals minor ice damage to one enemy and further deals minor ice damage based on the amount of Memoria. So that one seems like it's more passive. The second one is called Dream Dissolving as Dew. Based on the amount of Memoria, it deals massive ice damage to the primary target and ice damage to the other enemy targets. Again, since it's based on the amount of Memoria, I would assume that this is also kind of passive, especially because it kind of talks about Eevee being a little bit more passive, like with each skill. Like Day Gently Slips summons Eevee, but when you hit, there's like a clear condition to do the hit, essentially. But after use, this consumes all Memoria and HP and makes Eevee disappear. So Eevee does disappear, like Casterus' dragon does, but as soon as you get on the field, you basically have it. More similar to, it's like a mix of Mem and Casterus' dragon. So with talents then, there's 3. The first one is called Solitude, Drifting, and Murk. The Memo Sprite Eevee is immune to crowd control debuffs, which again, I think that's gonna go crazy. And its chance of getting attacked increases. So it also draws damage to it. Similar a little bit. I do think March is probably the only I do think Evernight is probably the only character in Remembrance we've gotten so far that feels like a true Remembrance character. I say that because a lot of Remembrance characters feel like they could go in different paths and make much more sense there. For example, Casterus should be a destruction character. Hyacinth should be a healer. She should be, I forget what healer. I'm forgetting what healer is. Wow. Regardless, Hyacinth should be a sustain unit. Remembrance Trailblazer should be Harmony. Like, it doesn't, I have beef with Remembrance because all the Remembrance kits should be somewhere else. Evernight, however, feels like a mix of there's like 2 different things going on here. Maybe even like something like Nihility mixed with Destruction, because I say that, well, on the field, It's a chance of getting attacked increases. That Eevee talent is exactly what Clara does with her kit. She draws attacks to her. And that's basically her destruction mechanic. Destruction mechanics essentially are your character getting a debuff so they can do more damage. That's what Clara does. And so I'm like, oh, this is like a mix of like 2 different paths, and that makes sense. If Remembrance is going to be a mix of paths, that makes sense, because that's the only way I could probably describe Remembrance, right? We can't go into the full character menu, so I can't look and see specifically what Remembrance is supposed to be in terms of like that character type. But if that's the route they're going, it took 6 patches for it to make sense, but they did it. So all right. I'd be curious now to go through the other Remembrance characters and see if we can pick out like 2 different paths on each one. Because it's always with these characters, one of the paths is very obvious. The other one isn't as much. Like it took me a minute to like pick up on the destruction half because I went into the memo sprite description. But also with the Solitude one, well, it's on the field, Eevee on the field, increases its own and Evernight's damage dealt. So there's a buff there as well. And that's destruction actually. Chance of getting attack increases, but the damage you're doing increases. The second talent is called Night Trailing in Step. When summoned, this unit immediately takes action. So these are all really passive. And the third one then is called You Parting Beyond Reach. Upon disappearing, increases Evernight speed. So yeah, I do think this is a mix of something like Destruction and maybe like Nihility or Erudition. It's like Destruction and something else. I can't particularly say what the something else is, but there's definitely something else there. And it's one of those more like fluid paths as well. So I can't tell entirely what's going on here, but for the first time in from 3.0 to 3.6, Remembrance makes sense. And I can't believe I'm saying that because I was the biggest Remembrance hater from the start. Anyways, let's actually get into this. Hi, Hyacinth. Hold on. I'm moving the box again. All right, here we are. So we're going to start single targeting because I would like to see Evernight do her thing. I'm not going to summon Mem yet. Hello, Evernight. So we have her support. Let's give that a try. That Stay Gently Slips. Okay. And then we get an AoE here. The Time to Wake Up. That's Kafka's line. Single target. We're going to do single targets until I see all of Evernight's kit, and we'll go from there. I am going to speed up these guys, these bozos. All right, cool. Let's hit a restore. I will use that skill. All right, Miss Evernight, I would like to see your single target. Whack him with the umbrella. And then we have her ultimate. Wakeful World, good night. All right, let's see the AoE, girl. That's quite the cool. Ooh. She took a note or 2 out of Kafka's handbook for sure, right? Are we all on the same page with that one? Okay, well, let's auto clear. I love auto clear in award-winning gacha game. Has this game won awards? I think it has. Award-winning gacha game, Honkai Star Rail. I'm curious what now that I'm like doing the auto clear, I'm curious what numbers we can hit. All right, 366,000 with Polyxia's the dragon's name, right? 171,000, which I feel like Castrus can do better. How many little guys we got in the field right now? Wait a minute. We have our 4 characters, but then I think we have all the memo sprites. 501,000 on Evernight, 347,000. Yeah. They really set this trial up to make Evernight look really good. Like, oh my god, she's better than Casterus. No, she's not. I love you, March, but... Okay, 470,000 is good. 881,000. Yeah, it's because everything got buffed this round, so Casterus did much higher damage. So at first I was running Evernight a little bit like she could be the DPS because I wanted to see what her skills did. But definitely she is not your DPS. That goes to Casterus. I gotta give it to her. That goes to her, cause nope. This team does go a little crazy though. I do have to say that. Like there's just so much happening. Hyacinth's gonna finish it out. Go little Ika! All right, well that was one way to finish it. So I interrupt your regularly scheduled patch review because I forgot to do the pay to play section. I was like it's funny because I was like sitting here, I did the whole outro, did the whole video, and hit the stop recording button. And I have a pop-up now that comes up when I hit the stop recording button so that it doesn't stop recording on its own, because that was a problem that kept happening. Here's the thing. I'm sitting here, I hit stop recording, and then the pop-up comes up to really stop recording, like, are you sure? And I just stare at it, because I'm like, oh my god, I forgot the Eidolons. So, I'm just gonna add this in, but we do have to do the pay-to-play section. Come on, who are we here? If you are new here, the pay to play section of the video is exactly what it sounds like. It is the part of the video where I go through all of the paid character copies, extra copies of the character, and say whether or not I think they're worth your money or not, because I recently found out how much y'all are paying for these extra copies, and I don't think we should be paying this much money for a gacha game, quite frankly. You do what you want with your money, spend responsibly, but it's rough out there, and I'm gonna judge the Eidolons. My general recommendation when you're pulling for a character, if you are new here, I say this all the time, don't go all in. Even if you are a whale, don't go all in on the first time around. Because especially with Star Rail is notorious for having the worst meta of all the gacha games right now, in that it is constantly changing, and if you don't have the best of the best character, you can't clear endgame. However, that also means 6 months from now, all the currently relevant characters in game probably aren't going to be relevant anymore and will do no damage at all in any game mode. So going and spending $500+ for 6-7 copies of a character that won't be relevant to gameplay in 5 months is a bad idea. Like I said, you do what you want with your money, but it's not smart. So my general recommendation, even if you are a whale, is if you're a whale, go to E2. Usually E2 is where we cap off. If you are a low spender and you like to get some copies, you really like Evernight, E2. Stop there. Do not pass go. But generally my recommendation is go to E2, and 6 months from now, whenever that character gets a rerun, if they're still relevant in the meta, if you're still using them on your team, that's when you go all in. So, and sometimes character Eidolons in Star Rail aren't worth it even to go in all in on later. So, all that being said, we can actually get into that now. So everything we went over already in this video, I don't know where I'm gonna slot this in yet, so I'll have to figure that out. Everything we already went over in this video is E0. The trial we saw, that was E0. That is 1 copy of the character, perfectly fine and dandy to get if you are a free-to-play player, especially if you've been saving. Everything from here is going to get more expensive, and it will go up to like $500. So spend responsibly, but let's get into it. Number 1. E1, this is 2 copies of Evernight. Sleep Tight, The Night Dreams Long. I need to move my box. Didn't think that one through. Okay, Sleep Tight, The Night Dreams Long, yes. So with this one, when Evernight is on the field, if there are 4 or more 3/2/1 enemy targets on the field, ally memo sprites deal damage equal to 120, 125, 130, and 150% of their original damage, respectively. So essentially, as less and less enemies are on the field, you are doing more damage. So the more enemies you take out, the more you're doing. Essentially, also, this is also going to be very good if you're fighting a single target, 1 boss character. There's 1 boss, maybe 2 other little guys on the field. Once you get those 2 other little guys out, your main focus is going to be on that boss. And so 1 ally on the field, you're doing an extra 150% damage. So what is this for? If you find yourself really using March in boss levels, I did the thing. If you find yourself really using Evernight in boss levels, or I'm like trying to think levels with like less stuff. I actually think this is a good buff, because especially as you get further in, as you're taking out more and more opponents, as you get further into a battle, your HP starts going down. And so that's when the later you get into the battle, that's when you need the damage boost. So I actually, quite frankly, think her E1 is pretty good. I think this is a good buff. I honestly think it's fun as well, because it's like opposites almost. As there's less enemies on field, you're doing more damage. And I think something like that makes a lot of sense for a character like Evernight, because she is March's opposite. So I think that like opposite mechanic, I think it's kind of fun. I think it makes sense for her, actually. I made the joke earlier that her kit, like that her talent, or what was it? Her like, not her talent, her technique. I made the joke earlier that her technique wasn't like that creative or anything, but this I actually think is really creative. It's simple, but it's creative, which is nice to see, because I didn't think her kit originally, like her main kit details, I didn't think they were that creative. I thought they were like creative enough, but this is actually pretty creative. I give it to him. All right, E2 is 3 copies of Evernight called Listen Up, The Slumber Speaks Soft. Say that 5 times fast. With this one, this increases Evernight's and the Memo Sprite EV's crit damage by 40%. Each time Evernight gains Memoria, this increases the amount of Memoria gain by 2 points. When using Evernight's ultimate, you additionally gain 2 charge for Darkest Riddle. So this I wouldn't necessarily consider a means to an end. 3 is more of that means to an end, which we'll get into in a second. But I don't really think you need her E2. It is a crit damage bonus, and crit damage is always good to have, but it almost makes me think, because when we originally went over March's, I did it again, oh my god. See, I'm recording this after the video, and that'll make sense if you watch to the end of the video. But I think I turned off Evernight mode, and now I keep calling her March. But it almost feels like it's doing the thing, and I talked about this in the Zenless Zone Zero patch video with Orphe. It feels like they're doing the thing where the extra copies of the character, paid copies, feel more like it is changing the character's original kit and what that character is supposed to be in your team and making them into a main DPS. It feels like we're maybe getting into that. Maybe my words will be marked. Maybe they'll mark my word. You know, maybe I'll be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I've said this before. Any extra character copies, Eidolons in this case, that essentially just change the character's kit into a standard main DPS instead of being like a support or something that's actually interesting, I don't like it. Especially with something like Star Rail, where I feel like we have so many main DPSs. That's the problem with power creep in this game, is that if you don't have the newest main DPS character, you're screwed. You can't clear anything. And one way to fix that is by having more diverse character types and supports and things that can buff out the characters, the main DPSs that you want to play. So you don't have to have newest main DPS number 46 and you can just run whoever you want. Supports and sub DPSs are very important. And we don't have enough in Star Rail, it feels like. And a character kit being changed into a main DPS kit, I don't like it, especially in Star Rail. Okay. I don't think you truly need this unless you find yourself running Evernight as more of a main DPS. Maybe if you really, really like Evernight and want to run her that way later on, when she gets the rerun, go for it. But I don't think you really need E2 if you're using her more as a support / sub DPS. I think. Like, this one's kind of on the fence, but it's that crit damage increase that's really making me think, oh, instead of buffing out other characters, she's doing the damage now. And it's making me think things. It's probably still okay. I would still might recommend going to E2, but it truly, quite frankly, if you're a low spender and just go to E1, I think that would also be fine. Moving on though, we have her E3. May she rest in peace. It's been a while since we've said that. This one is called Fear Not, The Nightmare Lies Past. This is 4 copies of Evernight. And this is a means to an end. This is just a bunch of level increases you don't need, but it brings you to the next character copies that have a better buff. But in order to get to those, you have to pull for E3. You're not stopping at E3. Maybe that was the problem why E3 died. No one's stopping at E3. But you're not gonna stop here. You're either going to end at E2 or keep going. So what does this do though? 2 level increase on skill levels up to 15, 1 level increase on basic attack up to 10, and 1 level increase on Memo Sprite talent to 10. So just some basic level increases. You're not going to stop here. I don't recommend going here and stopping unless something goes horribly wrong. If you really are, like, quite frankly, even if you're thinking about going to E6 when she gets a rerun and you're like, oh, I'll pull half now, half later, I still wouldn't recommend doing it that way. I think I would just go to E2 and stop because, again, you don't know if you're still going to be using this character in the future. E2 is generally a good place to stop because that E3 isn't necessary. So that's what I recommend. Don't stop at E3. I already made the joke. We got to move on. Okay, E4. This is 5 copies of Evernight, and we are officially in big spender territory. This is called Wake Up. The Tomorrow is Yours. This is, did I say this is 5 copies? I said it's 5 copies of Evernight. While Evernight is on the field, all Memo Sprite's weakness break efficiency increases by 25%, and the Memo Sprite Eevee's weakness break efficiency additionally increases by 25%. I think my correction is I'm being stood corrected, and I appreciate that a lot, actually, because this is a support buff. It's the ally Memo Sprites. This is a remembrance-based support buff, and I love that for me. I love that for us. Because they're not changing her into a DPS, at least not yet. So I was scared with that crit damage, but I do think they kept her as a sub DPS support, and I appreciate that greatly. I really do. Do I think you need this? Probably not, but it's not horrible. You know, the weakness break is always good to have, and it's not like this wouldn't be the end of the world. Like, do I recommend stopping at 4? Probably not, because like it's not the best out of the best, but it's also not the worst either. So I actually think it's good, and I think it's setting up a good precedent as well for the rest of her kit, because I really thought it was going to turn her into a DPS, but thank God. I went on my little rant for nothing. Am I still going to keep it in the video? Yeah, probably. But yeah, 5 is also going to be a means to an end. This is called Let Go, the Me in Memories. This is 6 copies of Evernight. And again, means to an end. Ultimate level goes up by 2 to a max of 15. Talent level +2 to a max of 10. And Memo Sprite skill level +1 to a max of 10. So you don't need this. You're not stopping here. You're going to E6. This is 7 copies of Evernight called Like This Always. And with this one, I finally looked up what res pen means. Finally looked it up, and I was right. It's resistance penetration. Haha, haha, I guessed that. I've been too lazy to look up what res pen means this whole time. Anyways, I finally looked it up though in the Evernight video for some reason. I'm going insane a little bit, I think. I might be getting sick. I think I might have, you know, if I end up having a fever, I wouldn't be surprised. That feels like we might be where we're at right now. Anyways, like this always, while Evernight is on the field, all ally targets, all type resistance penetration increases by 20%. So what does this do? It penetrates your enemy's resistance. Whatever type of resistance they got, 20% of that gone. After the Memo Sprite Eevee uses Dream dissolving as due, Evernight gains 30% of the amount of Memoria consumed in this attack. I am actually happy with Evernight's pay to play. I'm gonna be so real. I was concerned for a little bit there that it was gonna be turning her into a main DPS. I was concerned they were gonna pull in an Axa. They did not. They did not do that. So I appreciate that. She still is definitely more of a sub DPS / support flex spot character, and I do think that that will lead itself to, the only thing is it doesn't really lead itself to interesting team comps for the sole purpose and reason that right now in game there's not enough remembrance characters. We have no remembrance 4-stars whatsoever, which I will say that makes a certain amount of sense that we don't have any remembrance 4-stars, because the remembrance characters we have gotten have all been gods. Same thing with Emphorius in general. They're all like demigods. So like, yeah, they probably should be 5 stars, but I feel like we should have had some other characters releasing along the way that should have also been 4 stars, you know? Like there definitely was room to have 4 stars with all the characters we've gotten in Emphorius, but they just ended up as NPCs and things like that instead. NPCs with some insane models, by the way. Quite frankly, I'm gonna be so I would not be opposed if they made Lygus playable. I hate Lygus. If they made Lygus playable and the only caveat was that he is a 4-star character, I wouldn't be mad, quite frankly. Make him a 4-star. It's what he deserves. But like, remember, Evernight feels like a character that could be in a lot of very interesting team comps. But the problem with that then is we don't have enough remembrance characters to do interesting team comps. We don't have enough 4-star characters to do interesting team comps in this game. And that I feel like is a little bit of a problem. Not really Evernight's problem, but still a problem. I don't know how we how do we fix that? 4 stars. We fix it with 4 stars with weird kits. That's how we do that. Anyways, we fixed that with viable 4-star units. But I still think Remembrance is just because it was so new for this 3.x run of patches, we don't have enough characters to do fun team comps yet of Remembrance characters. And they're all 5-star, so not everyone has all of them. Again, it's that power creep thing. But that's kind of it on Eidolon's. Where do I recommend ending off? Quite frankly, I think you'd be fine just going to E1, honestly, truly. Her other ones like 2 and 4, and honestly even 6, 2, 4, and 6 all are like, yeah, that'd be good to have, but I don't know if it's like game breaking. And I'm saying this all like theoretically. In game, in practice, it could be like the most cracked thing ever. But yeah, I think I would need to trial an E6 Evernight to like figure that one out. Has anyone E6 their Evernight? I feel like I haven't seen anyone E6 Evernight. Am I insane for that? I don't think I've seen anyone E6 their Evernight. Maybe I'm just out of the, I could be out of the loop. I definitely am out of the loop on other things. So I think you're fine with E1 if you really like March, Evernight, not March. Maybe I'll be eating my words when she's rerun. I don't know. I just feel like we don't have enough characters to like run that team with her. Like we got the whole cast of Emphorius. That's Remembrance on that team with Evernight, except for Aglaya. Justice for her. Anyways, I return you to your regularly scheduled pulling programming. Thank you. I'm still not pulling for Evernight. Again, nothing against her. I love March to death. I love her so much. But like, we must stay strong for Cyrene. Do I have a team for Cyrene? No. Do I care? Also no. Oh god, I should pull for Evernight, shouldn't I? Because I have no one to run with Cyrene. And I'm assuming if Evernight buffs Remembrance characters, then obviously Cyrene is also going to want a ton of Remembrance characters on her team. I don't have any. So if I have Evernight and the Trailblazer, I should be able to make that work at the very least. Hold on, who's getting the rerun on the second half of the patch? Who can we pre-farm? They don't tell you yet, because who's the other character getting rerun? Because they have Dunhung here. Oh, it must be a character I have, yeah. It's probably a character I have. Is it Sunday? I think it might be Sunday. You know, that would make a certain amount of sense. I am gonna set Provencer Terra as my build target though, because I have to start pre-farming for this man. My one thing is, we get mats to level him up to 60, but it tells you to pre-farm everything, doesn't it? Maybe not, because I'm looking at like what it recommends for the Herda versus Denhung. That's why I keep clicking back and forth. No, it definitely is recommending everything you need. So I probably shouldn't set him as build target, but I want to get the stuff to level him up the last couple levels. But I don't want to like do we get any of his trace materials? Probably not, right? I'm setting him as build target. If I have extra stuff, we can use the transformation thing later on, but I'm setting him as build target. Evernight, however, oh dear. I probably should. Fine, you talk, fine on. All right, hold on. Let's get into the pull screen and decide on this. I was gonna say they took away the Fate banner, but no, it's still there. I don't have that many pulls. I thought I would have had more pulls than I actually do. So I've made the decision we're not pulling. If I have to wait on reruns to be able to use my Cyrene efficiently, so be it. We will be pulling Cyrene. What we do have though is 5 standard regular warps, and I'm gonna use them right now. Let's just see what we can get. Hi, Misha. Do I have anything else in the shop? Oh, free pass, look at that. Okay. All right, well, another one. I have no idea where we're at pity-wise, by the way, we're just pulling. I think that force... No shot! Literally the worst Eidolon I could have gotten. Oh my gosh. Oh, my allergies are killing me. I was gonna say I was due for a 4-star. I didn't know I was due for a 5-star. When was the last time I got a 5-star? Is it even on here? It's been a while. I need to see if that was early. It only keeps 6 months of data on here though, and I don't pull here a ton. Yeah, that's it. So it's been more than 6 months since I got a 5-star. Oh my god. Yanqing! I don't, listen, let me say this. Also, let me put the box back. I don't hate Yanqing, but in terms of like gameplay, do I use Yanqing? No. That was really unfortunate. There we go. All right. E1 Yanqing. There we go. But it's like kind of like common knowledge that no one uses Yanqing, and Yanqing is like the worst 5-star you can get. And that's exactly what happened. Oh my, that's like a 1. I just got 1-2 punched. I upgraded Misha, and his line was like, I look forward to growing up. I didn't know that was his line. I just got hit twice in 5 minutes. We need to be done. I'm ending the video. That's it. Star Rail was a mistake. I will have no team for, actually, you know what? Where am I? Where am I poll wise? And do I need a guarantee? Because if I need to, I think I need a guarantee. I think I need to lose a 50-50 because the last 5-star character I got was fun. You know what? We can pull. We can pull. We can come back from this. Because if we look at my details here, because I did a couple of pulls on Ceredra's banner to build Pity, and I possibly lose a 50-50, so we're closer to Cyrene, and I have that guarantee. That's exactly why I was pulling for Ceredra, and I pulled quite a bit, it seems. I don't have a ton of pulls to throw into this one, but fine on. Yeah, that was back in July. July was a time. The last time I got a 6-star in reverse was also July. Dear God. Oh, we're getting kind of close, aren't we? 48 Pity. Do you want to just bring it up to, let's just do a 10 pull and see what happens. Yeah? Bring it up to 58. Why not? Just for fun. Let's see what happens. See, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. It's not gold. It's fine. To be fair, I am saving during Denhung's half, so I think it's okay if we do some pull. I think it's okay if we just kind of throw everything in right now. Also, it's purple, so 2 copies of Shui Yi, which I have maxed. Amazing. You know, fun fact, I have sitting in my living room an autograph from Shui Yi's VA. I need to get it framed, so it's just kind of been sitting off my coffee table to remind myself to get a frame for it. That's VA signature luck, baby. We might be actually kind of lucky today. So that was up to, what were we at? Hold on, I need to do math again. I think I might be getting sick. Oh dear God, that's not fun. I have plans this weekend. I don't want to cancel those plans. Obviously, if I'm sick, I will cancel those plans, but I don't want to. 48, so we were at 48, that we did 58, 59, not gold, 59. I think I might try to go for it. 60, not gold. All right, I'm going for it. Why not? I have a couple pulls left. 61, okay. 62, not gold. All right. 63, this is gonna be our last one. And if I can get Evernight for my Cyrene team, that would be lovely, but I don't think we did. I'll let this one play out. I like how I said going into this I wasn't pulling for Evernight, but here I am pulling for Evernight. It's because I thought about it and I'm like, wait a minute, I need other Remembrance characters to run with Cyrene. Will I continue to pull for Evernight? Possibly, although I don't really plan on, like, you know, I probably will continue, because like I said, I don't plan on pulling an extra copy of Permanence Terrae, so that's totally fine. I think what I'll do is probably keep pulling on this half the patch for Evernight just to try and get, I can't say I didn't try, you know, and we'll go from there. And then after Evernight's banner is over, I'll start hitting for Cyrene. Because also I'm kind of hoping, you know, I would be okay not having Cyrene pulls be in the birthday video if it meant I had more time to save. Thank you. All right. Well, we get to go stare at Not March in the databank now. Hello. Totally Not March. Her faction's Amphorius. It's listed as Amphorius as well. That's interesting. Core Flame of Time. God, she freaks me out. Like the teeth on her shoulder. She freaks me out so much, but I love her. Because it truly is like character you know and love came back different. I hired this totally not March to stare at you. We'll probably keep pulling. I'm just like, it's the same reason I was pulling for Zaritra. It's like, damn, she'd work really well on my Finon team. Evernight, it's like, damn, she'd work really good on my Cyrene team that doesn't exist yet. I need to work with something. I'll probably keep pulling and try to get Evernight, because also I love March. But yeah, I really stuck to the bit of not. I tried really hard to call her Evernight this entire video, by the way. Like that was a conscious effort. 52 minutes I spent trying. I didn't do it. There was time. I called her March a lot, but I really tried to stick to the bit for that one. But yeah, 5 days left. That's it for this video. If you like this video, make sure to give me a like down below, as well as subscribe for more, and hit the little notification bell to be notified when I upload new ones. Let me know in the comments down below, how did everyone's not March polls go? How did everyone's Evernight polls go? Are we saving? Did we go all in? Are we pulling just so we have someone to run with Cyrene? Let me know in the comments down below, and I hope everyone who wanted Evernight got Evernight. I hope I really need someone to run with Cyrene, but then I run into the problem. See, I used to get characters so easily in this game, and then my luck ran out. Star Rail, if you give me back my poll luck, I will stop talking about the chatbot. I'm kidding, but also not. But as always, I hope everyone is having a super lovely day wherever you are in the world. I should probably go take my temperature or something. I hope it's just allergies, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, guys!